poets of the 20th century was the American Robert Frost. He was the poet laureate of the United States for many years. Many of his poems are iconic. Perhaps his most famous poem is The Road Not Taken. Every student at some point in their academic career studies that poem, memorizes that poem, tells the story of coming to a fork in the road and you have to go either to the right or to the left. And as you choose the right path, at some point you wonder what happened if I would have taken the left path. It's kind of a metaphor for life, isn't it? How our life is a series of decisions and choices, and we can wonder, what if I had gone in another direction? You know, I've been talking with a lot of our high school seniors, and recent weeks they've all been announcing the colleges that they'll be attending next fall. And rarely is it evidently clear that I should go absolutely here or absolutely there. And there can be wondering, what if I had decided to go to my second choice? But life moves on, and it's a great and exciting time for the graduating class of 2021. Another one of Robert Frost's great poem was a poem called Mending the Wall, and it tells the story of two farmers that are mending the wall that separates their farms. And at one point, one of the farmers says, "Do we really need a wall?" And the other one says, "Good fences make good neighbors." And the poem goes on to talk about, we do need some walls, some fences. If you didn't have the cattle or the sheep fenced in, they would run for the hills. But does the apple orchard need a wall separating it from a group of evergreen trees? Some years ago, there was an exhibition at the Smithsonian called Fences, and it had pictures and fragments of fences. Like there was a picture of a beautiful white picket fence that surrounded a beautiful manor home on a large plantation in the south. And then there was an image of the Iron Curtain, the Berlin Wall. There was a picture of a beautiful decorative fence in the middle of Central Park in Manhattan and the Great Wall of China. There were images of fences that surround prisons, the barbed wire fence that surrounded Dachau, all kinds of fences. Some fences meant to keep us in, some meant to keep us out. One of the things that we all deal with is some of the tallest fences, the most difficult fences, the most brutal fences, are not physical fences or walls. They're walls that we create in our lives to keep some people out or to keep some people in. Fences that want to keep a certain group of people away rather than in our midst. Fences that can separate us by language, culture, economics, education. Fences that are brutal. Right now in our country, we see the bitter divide that separates so many for all sorts of reasons. And the gospel is always calling us to take down the fences and the walls that keep us from living life more fully and more completely. What are the fences in my life that need to be taken down? Where are the fences that I've put around another person so they can stay away? Or what are the fences that I put up so I don't have to deal with poverty, or I don't have to deal with another race, or I don't have to deal with an issue that's too hard for me to face? Think of the fences that go up between the sick and the healthy, the rich and the poor. Fences that diminish us and limit us. And I was thinking about the Women's Club. I don't know if there's another organization in our parish over the years that has done such a job of taking down fences that divide. You know, a large, complex parish like this can be very easily divided. We can be divided by misunderstandings. We can be divided by different opinions. We can be divided by our neighborhoods. We can be divided by our sense of importance or self-righteousness. Just think of the fences in a typical year that the Women's Club takes down. The fences that separate us from the poor, the hungry, the homeless. Think of the fences that the Women's Club has taken down so that guilds can transcend neighborhoods and age groups and history. Think of the fences that the Women's Club has taken down to make us a stronger, more vital parish. So important that we have bridge builders in a parish community, not just healing divides within the boundaries of OLPH, but boundaries that separate the suburban world from the city world, boundaries that separate people on the basis of race or language, boundaries that are very difficult to cross. But a phone call, a food drive, working at a pantry, getting together for a monthly guild meeting, all create a deeper sense of who we are as witnessing the good news of Jesus Christ. Today, we remember one of the great people in this parish at taking down fences, and that was Eileen Hoekstra. The enormous zeal and enthusiasm that she brought to the sharing room, to the food pantry at Northfield, to her constant witnessing to the needs of those around us. And there was that contagious spirit about her. A lot of people began working in the sharing room because of her. They just lived off her energy and her passion. And in her own manner, for many years, you could never fathom how many tables had food that would not have had food on the table if it wasn't for Eileen. Her gentle but challenging invitation to all of us to be more generous. You know, we live in a very self-centered world. It's all about me, 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 me. And she said over and over again, no, no, no. It's about us, us, us. And that is a gift that will be forever woven into the DNA of OLPH. Today, as we gather at this liturgy, we celebrate our wonderful Women's Club that, despite unbelievable obstacles this past year, did so much, continuing to keep people connected. The Women's Club kept us aware of the needs of others. And you know, the guilds were like one of the best, prescriptions to combat the isolation that so many have been feeling as a result of the pandemic. You know, some of the members of our guild, for months, never left their homes. And that monthly meeting, that connection, made all the difference in the world. And we think today of the extraordinary choice of this year's recipient of the Service Award, Eileen, whose vitality, whose energy, whose compassion will forever leave a legacy of hope on this parish.
Hello, OLPH. My name is Mary Lynn Januszewski, and I'm the Director of Finance and Operations at Our Lady of Perpetual Help Parish in Glenview, Illinois. And this message comes to you with heartfelt gratitude and thanks for your ongoing generosity and support of OLPH Parish. This overwhelming generosity allows us to continue to serve and to minister to the parish community in so many different ways. So thank you, OLPH, for all you do. You are much appreciated.